Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and to another Plan With Me video. This week, if you couldn't already tell by the kit that I'm currently showing you, we are doing a memory spread for the week of April 3rd through to April 9th, which was, of course, Easter week. And I am sitting here doing this voiceover on August 22nd, so you know. Little bit behind, but as you guys have probably seen on my YouTube, I did post a little update the other day where I've been having a lot of issues with getting my content from my phone to my MacBook, and it's just not been cooperating recently, and it's made me very grumpy. And combining that with a very hectic workload and just some other stuff going on at the moment, it has just been like, I tried a couple of times, it didn't work, and so I gave up. But I've found a little bit of a workaround for now, which does take a little bit longer than my usual process, but here we are. If it's going to enable me to post content again, we're going to just have to do that. So yeah, like I said, we are planning out the week of Easter. I'm not quite sure what this kit was called, and I can't see it from where I'm sitting at the moment, but you would have seen that when I showed you through the kit. But the kit is from Caress Press, and I knew the minute I saw it that it was going to be my Easter kit, purely because the art is so different and I hadn't seen anything else like it. The only little bizarre kind of thing that I got in my head about with this kit was that it's very spring vibes to me, and for us that live down under, we actually celebrate Easter in autumn, or what other people would call fall. So the art definitely doesn't match the season, but I usually give myself a little bit of grace when it comes to holidays and special occasions. So this was, of course, no exception. And there is a cute little pug box that I put down on Wednesday, which just reminds me of our family pug. She's no longer with us, unfortunately, but I knew that I had to use it in my spread, so I did. And I really enjoy how this spread came out. Now, given that this voiceover is going to be a little bit shorter than usual because of those technology issues, and partly because I want to get through things and get as up to date for you guys as I can, it is a shorter voiceover, so I'm going to go ahead and get straight into the plans for the week. Nothing exciting really happened in terms of my sidebar this week, so I just used my little corner decoration inspo that I usually go for up in that top left hand corner. And then there was like a toolbox that I've used. I used a regular full box, and then I've just tracked my socials for the week. And then I do pair this with a foil bundle from Caress Press as well, which I think is super cute. But starting with Monday. So on Monday, first day of the week, I of course started by marking Coffee Monday. Per usual, I will not be sharing where the stickers are from, just because for this video particularly, I just don't have the time. But if you do have any questions about any specific stickers, definitely let me know and I will get back to you with where they are from. But as I said, I marked Coffee Monday to start the working week. I then, of course, marked work for the day, and then after work that afternoon, I've marked that I had a little bit of a tidy up, and I worked on organizing my sticker collection. I've been trying to do that in like ebbs and flows, because there'll be days when I just want to like organize things, and then there'll be other days where like I just don't care. So I've been trying to take advantage of situations when I am in a mood where I want to organize things. So this was one of those days. And then I did also mark having some Twitch hangs, which generally just means I'm sitting on the couch with a cup of coffee, usually on my laptop, watching whichever of my friends is live on Twitch at the time. Like I said, coffee in hand. So I did actually mark coffee that day as well, basically to fill a slot, probably because I didn't have enough room. Sorry, I had too much room and didn't have enough to mark on the day. And then back in April, we were still watching I'm a Celebrity. So I have marked that to finish off Monday. Tuesday the 4th, the first thing that I've actually marked on that day was that it was my brother's birthday. So my youngest brother's birthday was that day. And sometimes if he's lucky, his birthday will actually coincide with Easter, which I think it does next year, perhaps. I don't know. But this week it just happened to be like in the same week. So there was his birthday at the beginning of the week, and then we had Easter at the end of the week. So he got the whole like birthday celebrations and then Easter celebrations as well, which is always fun. Um, I've then, of course, marked work beneath that. And then that afternoon after work, again, I did sit on Twitch, but this time I was listening to some ASMR on Twitch. I know that I've said it before, but for anyone who may not know what ASMR is, it's essentially the description is going to sound terrible, so by all means feel free to Google it yourself, but it's basically where someone sits in front of a microphone and they make like all sorts of noises into specific, particular, I don't know, but they get, all these fancy microphones, and they make like little tapping sounds, or they make like scratching noises, or they whisper, or they do these different what they call triggers, which can trigger what they call a tingle response to said noises. So very weird. I don't even remember how I discovered it, but it is my thing that I go to. Like if I'm having a stressful time or if I can't sleep, I find that watching or listening to ASMR really, really helps me. It does help a lot of people with anxiety and things like that as well. So if you've never seen it before, or if you struggle with any of those sorts of things, definitely give it a go. It's not for everyone, totally understand that, but it's just something that works for me. So that particular day I was listening to ASMR after work. I also marked doing some laundry this afternoon, and then like I said, because it was my brother's birthday, my parents are separated and we do birthday celebrations. We tend to try and do them both in one day. I wish we didn't, and I wish that we could separate them. It would be so much easier, or we could do things on a weekend, but for some reason my family are like adamant on having the celebrations all on one day, which means we have to go to both parents' houses after a full day at work. Sometimes it can be a lot. So I have marked on this day that we first went to my mum's house to do cake with her, and then after that we went to my dad's house to do cake with him. And then I did put a little sloth here in a half box, but I had a script that I wanted to use that I didn't obviously find in time for this video, that marked a countdown. So that was to mark 3 months until my birthday. Moving over to Wednesday. So on Wednesday, the first thing that I've marked is, of course, work. And then I've just marked there that I had a busy day. Self-explanatory, just means that I had a busy day. After work, I did settle on the couch and watch some YouTube. And then I've marked that I hung out with the boys, aka my dogs. That night we did again watch some more of I'm a Celebrity. So because we weren't home on the Tuesday, we obviously had to catch up on an episode. So I've marked that we were doing like catch up essentially, watching that night. And then that night we did have a Porto for dinner, and then we actually watched like that night's episode of I'm a Celebrity. So we'd caught up. We were then back up to date. Jumping right along to Thursday. So Thursday, I've started the day by marking work, and then because I work on a like flex arrangement, or I'm on like a flex schedule, we did get like a bonus holiday time for that day. So we were actually able to, I am so sorry, my phone is on loud. I'm so sorry, you heard that. My phone is like never on loud. So the fact that that even happened, apologies. So yeah, we got the option, if we had the credit time available, that we could take a half day on that day. And I was actually off, well, everyone was off the next day because it was Good Friday. So I opted to take the half day. So I've just marked that I had a half day Easter flex. So I think I logged off at like 11:30. And then once I logged off, I marked that I sat and played some Sims. It's not often that I get to just kind of sit and do what I want to do. So I took full advantage of that extra half day and I sat and played some games. Then I had some appointments. So I had my 3 weekly waxing and nail appointments. So I marked that I got myself a cup of coffee and a pretzel. It's a little bit out of order because generally what happens is I go to my waxing lady and then I drive to a different location to go to my nail appointment. And usually before I go to my nail appointment, if I'm feeling hungry, I'll get myself a pretzel, but I always get myself a coffee. It's like my thing. I have a coffee, I sit, I get my nails done, and that's just kind of how I operate. But on this night, I got my favorite pretzel, which is the garlic pretzel from Pretzel World. And it's like a garlic with like herbs and parmesan. It is so delicious. If you have a Pretzel World near you and you like garlic and parmesan cheese, highly, highly, highly recommend. So I did that, and then underneath that, that's where I've marked my waxing and nail appointments, even though they were separate. I know how my schedule works, so that's kind of just how I made it all fit. I then did a little bit of a food shop, so we got a couple of grocery items. Well, I got a couple of grocery items before I left the shops. And then I marked that we had Subway for dinner that night, and then again, we sat down and watched I'm a Celebrity to finish off the day. And then we're into the fun stuff. So Friday, Good Friday, of course, I have marked that at the top of the day. And my favorite thing about Easter weekend is that I get to have hot cross buns. I will not, and I refuse to eat hot cross buns or Easter eggs prior to Easter. So Easter, I'm not allowed to have any Easter eggs. Neither is my husband until Easter Sunday. And hot cross buns cannot be consumed in our household until Good Friday. So this was the first day I got to indulge in some hot cross buns. So I am, of course, marked having hot cross buns and coffee for breakfast. I then did a little bit of a tidy up and then spent some time hanging with the boys. Again, my dogs, my husband. I then marked that we had a bit of a supernatural binge. So again, just chilled on the couch, watched some episodes of Supernatural. And then if anyone here is a rugby league fan, every year, Good Friday clash, South Sydney Rabbitohs versus Canterbury Bulldogs. My team is South Sydney Rabbitohs, so of course that was on TV. I marked watching that. And then that evening we watched a movie at some point. Don't remember what it was, so I literally wrote that we watched a movie. That's just our Friday thing. And I've been really, really bad with like recording what I've been doing of late. So if you ever see that, that's because I don't remember, or I've put in my plans after the fact and I've completely forgotten what we've watched. So there is that. Then on Saturday, I've started the day by marking that once again I had coffee and hot cross buns for breakfast, and that again we had a bit of a Supernatural binge session. We then went into the shops. We had to do some last minute Easter shopping. So I've marked that we had Mad Mex. We actually got my brother as well. Sorry. So we went to Mad Mex, grabbed food. Then we went back to my brother's house, ate there. Then we brought said brother, because that brother doesn't drive and he lives half an hour away and public transport is ridiculous where we live. So we went and picked him up, bring him out. We saw my mum for Easter. And then we took my same brother to then go and see my dad for Easter, because Saturday it was all in one day. Then he could go home and do what he wanted to do. And then after we'd finished at my dad's, we went through Macca's drive-through on the way home. And then pretty much went home to bed. And then we move on to Sunday, which was, of course, Easter. So on Easter, we'd already, like I said, taken my brother to see, like, my parents. We'd already done my parents, essentially. So then, of course, I've got my in-laws. So on Sunday, the first thing that I marked is that it was Easter. And then my husband and I have developed this little tradition now where every year we do, like, a little Easter egg hunt for each other. It may sound childish, but we have fun with it. We basically buy like the little egg hunt eggs, and we take turns at like hiding, I don't know, 8 or 10 or whatever it is around the house, and we have to find them. And that's just a thing that we've done every year for the last couple of years now, and it's something that we will obviously carry through to our children as well. But that's just a little tradition of ours now, so I've marked doing that. I've then marked having hot cross buns for breakfast, and then I had to... Oh, I was like, drop coffee to mum's. My mum had run out of instant coffee. So I have this big bulk tin here at my house. So on the way through to my in-laws, we dropped some coffee to my mum. And then, again, out of order. So we did watch some Supernatural as well. So that should have been before the dropping the coffee to mum's. But I obviously got it out of order and didn't realize until now. So we watched Supernatural before we did that. We dropped the coffee at mum's, and then we went to my in-laws' house for Easter, and we had my mother-in-law's homemade spaghetti for dinner, and then we played a game called Sequence for the rest of the night. It's basically like a card game, but you've got like a board, and you have to get, like, you work in teams, and you have to make a sequence of, I think it's 5 counters in a row, and depending on how many people play, you've either got to get 1 full row of 5 or 2 full rows of 5 uninterrupted with any other counters. And you can go like, you know, vertically, horizontally, diagonally, all of that. And you can play for hours and hours. It's just one of those games. So we played that evening. It's really weird for me because I'm so used to, like, when I grew up, I was with my parents on an Easter, and anything else we did was done like on other days. Whereas now, depending on what works, and particularly like when I've got to sort of ferry around my brother, we kind of do things the way that makes sense, the way that's easiest. So seeing my parents on Saturday, both of them in one go, and not seeing them on Easter itself was very, very strange for me because I think even last year I'd seen them on the Sunday. Um, it's easier, but I think it's just something that I'm going to have to sort of come to terms with because unlike Christmas, we don't have it all like under one roof. That Christmas is the only time that we kind of have everyone together under one roof for one big celebration. But it is what it is. It happens. Um, but yeah, that was my Easter week. In just a moment, I'll finish sticking down the last of the stickers and I will give you a little bit of a wiggle, show you through my leftovers. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video and hopefully I'll see you very, very soon for another one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye for now.